Rick Stava is a principal automation engineer. They primarily do support for all the substations. He was real involved in the Smart Grid Phase 1 project that we just did, and particularly some of the new things that we did to interact with smart devices on the distribution system through the substation and on into the Energy Control Center. Another area that he's been real involved in is in the area of cybersecurity. SIP standards. He's been involved in developing a good strategy to know how we should best comply with all those regulations and standards, and also how the most effectively to protect ourselves from cybersecurity threats. He's also did a good job developing a cybersecurity strategy for the substations last year, and that was really good in looking big picture and identifying some risks from a strategic perspective. Rick's really pleasant to work with. He's a very good teacher. He tries to help folks when they need it. He's a good leader. He leads by example. He really has a positive, solutions-oriented attitude, and that's infectious. He recognizes the great efforts that other team members do around him. For that reason, I think he'd be a great example of the OPPD OSE Engineer of the Year.
Dave's the Senior Transmission Planning Engineer. He's responsible for performing complex system studies on the transmission system. The studies that we perform ensure that we cover all the different contingencies on the system. Dave's a great person to work with. He's got a great positive attitude that's contagious with everyone else. He's big on bringing people together and bringing groups together. He's just a really good mentor for everybody. There's a couple things that Dave has done in the last year and a half that have had a pretty big impact on our department. The first thing was incorporating Python coding into our daily activities. He pretty much automated most of those processes to save us a lot of busy work. Came up with a way to utilize more of the company's assets with these more powerful computers. What used to take us about 3 weeks for a large study just in processing time, now we can do it in several hours. So we can turn studies around faster than we've ever been able to. Dave's a model engineer who's consistently looking for ways to improve the processes and be innovative with everything he touches. And he also works really hard to bring everyone together. And that's why we nominated him for OSE Engineer of the Year.
John this year had a huge task. He had a Nebraska City 2 landfill project, which was big enough on its own, but it was like, while you're doing that, why don't you also do an NC1 landfill and a North Omaha landfill, all under close supervision of the state. John is very self-starting, he's very energetic, he pays a lot of attention to the details, doesn't try to leave anything to chance. John works with a lot of different people, everything from other engineers to consulting firms to state regulators, a wide variety of people that he has to interface with and represent OPPD to. And they all got completed on time, on budget, it all went off flawlessly. John has a lot of talents and skills, engineering, project management, leading groups of people and teams, represents OPPD to a lot of different faces, and does it all in a very outstanding manner. For those reasons, I think he'd be an outstanding Engineer of the Year.